Stu and the Ghost from Ghost MAF streaming on Twitch. Welcome to Highway 34 Connection, the The following podcasts are for mature audiences only, unscripted, unfiltered, and unedited as always. Pro Wrestling Talk, where we will sit down and we will discuss the world of professional wrestling. Conspiracy theories. Have a conspiracy you want us to talk about? Email us at highway34@gmail.com. Highway 34's History Lesson of the Week for World History. Talking Football, where we'll discuss the National Football League, the XFL, and the USFL. And the Honest 50, where the Chief will sit down with a guest and ask 50 questions, 25 from the Chief, 25 from their community. The Battle of Highway 34, the Trivia Show. Watch and listen as Ghost battles Insidious, or they battle the Chief. It is now time for your main event. Let's freaking go.
Hello, everybody. This is a special podcast edition on a good old Saturday night. I did some checking on this thing, and I too got some mixed emotions about it. So let's see this. Why don't you get us started and tell us what the topic is?
Alrighty. Well, this is the title of the headline. The Satanic Temple set up a public display inside the Iowa Capitol building. Very dark, evil force.
Now, is this permanent, or is this like a little show for right now?
It's just a little show. What they're saying is that if we have to look at a Christmas tree, then we can look at this. Was their words.
I see.
This is the headline. The Satanic Temple erected the public display depicting a ram's head with mirrors covering it, propped by a mannequin in red clothing, according to KCCI Des Moines. Co-founder of the Satanic Temple, Lucien Graves, told the news outlet that the display represents the group's right to religious freedom. We're going to really relish the opportunity to be presidented in public form. We don't have a church on every street corner, Graves said. My feeling is if people don't like our display in public forum, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them, Graves added. Iowa resident Shelley Flockhart said she was shocked to see the display. It is very dark, evil force, and truly hope people know how to battle that, Flockhart said. In response, Flockhart held a prayer group on Wednesday at a Christmas tree located inside the Iowa Capitol building. I hope that people realize spiritual warfare is real, that there are evil satanic forces that are trying to infiltrate our state, Flockhart said. According to Graves, the display will remain for 14 days. And that's all it says on it. So tell me what your thoughts are.
All right. Should I talk as a Christian or should I talk as an American?
Talk as you, my friend.
All right. As a Christian, I find it disturbing completely. And especially during this time of year, where it's, as much as I hate to say it, it's true. This is like the Christian's holiday, even though there's also pagan holidays that comes with Christmas because of the Christmas tree, the ornaments. A lot of its origin from pagan worship as well, from the winter solstice. I mean, and I get it. We're not, and then we got there's Hanukkah. There's other religions, so I understand. So from a Christian standpoint, I'm sticking by it. But now, as an American that understands freedom of religion, I get it. you know, Christians aren't the only religion on the planet, and we're also not the only ones that want to celebrate this time of the year. But the way I look at it is this also. Shouldn't this be more accepted? I don't think it should be accepted at all, personally, as a Christian. But if it has to be accepted, shouldn't it be more accepted during October month when you got, Halloween? And that's satanic right there. But
Well, I guess what I want to understand about this, okay,
because see, I'm all for freedom of religion and other religions expressing themselves, and that I get. Despite how evil this specific one is,
well, is
I'm not going to go out of my way and tell people what they can and can't do, because then I don't know. You understand what I'm saying, right?
It is a mixed area. It's a big gray area. Because like I said, the Christian side of me is, why is it in a capital of all places?
Exactly.
Courthouse, I could see, because most judges are evil in public eye.
Nice.
It's a true statement. So I see where you're coming from, and I see where I'm coming from with it, but I want to know is how are churches okay with it? I don't see very many of them talking about it.
Well, I can answer that, because churches have lost their backbone a long time ago. And I hate to have to say that, but it's true. Churches don't have a backbone anymore.
Or are they giving up?
I don't know how this is relevant, but okay.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
Huh?
I was wondering myself. He's gaming, so he said he wasn't.
It's all right.
So yeah, I get it. I see we have 3 people in there. If you've been following us, hit the comment section. Give us your thoughts about it. Make it more of a conversation. Give us your view. Trust me, I don't think we're going to turn this into a debate, because there really isn't much to really debate about.
Oh, we could turn it into a debate.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if you wanted someone to challenge it, but all I know is I laugh.
Here's the thing. Because that's the thing. Can you have this conversation both as a Christian and an American? Because as a Christian, you're disgusted, but as an American, you understand freedom of religion.
Oh, no. You see, that's where I'm wrong, because you're a Satanist. As a Satanist or someone that is a non-Christian, whatever, they say they believe in evil, but one way or another, Satan would not have a name if it wasn't for the Bible. So they can say whatever they want. Their church would not exist if it wasn't for the Bible. I could do this 100 times with any of them. It doesn't matter. You can say, well, I believe in Satan, but I don't believe in Jesus. Well, that's funny. Then you have to believe in the Bible to even believe in Satan, because that's the only person in any book ever written. The first book ever printed is the only one that talks about Satan in any form. So for you to say you believe in Satan but don't believe in God or Jesus, well, how that makes you a liar? Because in order to believe in Satan, you have to believe in the Bible.
Hold on for a sec.
Yeah.
Because this is actually a question that I've been wanting to ask these type of people for a long time. Why do you want to believe in evil?
Well,
I mean,
because it's so easy to sin. It's that easy.
Well,
and you can ask hundreds of them. They all give you the same answer. It's
but
sin. You don't have to be good to sin. But you know what a lot of them don't think about?
Oh.
Is what's going to happen when I die. Yeah, great. You want to sin all you want. You want to have a party all you want, but you still are going to die one day. Whether you think you're immortal or you think for whatever reason you're not going to die, you are. And you're going to have to face the person that you said didn't exist. But yet you followed the one person that existed in the same book as the one you say it doesn't exist. You know, my aunt, I don't tell this story very much, but I'll tell you this one. It's kind of funny, actually.
I have a question. I have a question. I have a question for that. Let me throw this out there. How is that any different than within, let's say, the Jewish community? Because the Jewish community also believes in the book, but they also don't believe in Jesus.
Oh, they do. They just don't believe he's came back yet. That's the difference.
No, well, no.
How do you figure?
Jews,
I follow a
well,
lot of
Jews, the
people.
Jewish religion believes that they're
Understand
still
that.
waiting for the Messiah. They believe that
Yes, they don't
Jesus
believe.
was just a prophet, that he wasn't the Messiah. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, but still, they don't believe he's came yet. But Christians
But
believe
that
he
means
That's the
that means they only believe in half the book.
No,
So people
they
can't.
don't even.
I mean,
They don't
and
even.
don't
They
give me
don't
this
even
nonsense.
follow. They don't even
People
follow
pick
the
and
Bible, bro. They have their own thing.
people pick and choose what to follow in the Bible all the time. I mean,
They don't follow the Bible. They have their own Bible. It's the Jewish something or other.
yeah, but it's
It's not.
equivalent to the
It's
Old
not
Testament.
exactly. They follow the Old Testament. We're in New. They're in Old. A little different. So yeah, they don't believe you get tattoos. They don't believe in a lot of things.
Right, they believe in the old Mosaic law. Right.
Yes. So a little different. But I get your point. But my point being, only one book talks about Satan and only one people believe it. But yet they want to be hypocritical and say he doesn't exist, that God doesn't exist. But the only Bible talks about Lucifer or Satan is in the Bible. So how can you believe in one and not the other? That's a question.
It's very simple.
As a Satanist. As a Satanist.
It's simple because a lot of people believe. Some Satanists believe just they pick again. They pick and choose. They think that
I think you're talking about.
I had an answer. I remember this because I remember learning about this.
You're thinking pagan.
Right.
Yeah, those are two different spirituals. Paganism is totally different. They have like Egyptian gods in their eyes. They have a sun god. They're more of Egyptian. But Satanic believes in the Lord Lucifer, Lord Satan. That's their god. That's who they follow. Strictly Satan.
Okay. You do realize though, but a lot of religions has some form of the Bible in it. For example, like Islam, there's a lot of things in the Bible that's in the Quran.
Yeah, that's where they got it from.
Exactly. So it doesn't hurt. Some people can believe one without the other. I mean, that's part of free speech and free thoughts and free thinking.
But it's wrong. That's the point I'm making. It's wrong.
Of course, it's wrong in your eyes and it's wrong in my eyes, but it may not necessarily be wrong in their eyes. So that's the interesting thing about religion.
I think the point I make about this whole capital situation is it's not written. You know where I got that from.
Mm-hmm.
Right out of the Bible. Jesus said it when they were doing stuff on Sunday. He said, "This is not written." I hear the same thing when I see the Capitol. This isn't written. That's the first thought that comes into my head. This ain't written. This is not supposed to be here. This is your state capital. You're supposed to represent Iowa. And this is how you choose to represent Iowa. Really?
Is this the only religion that they're showing in the Capitol, or do they got others?
They got a Christmas tree.
So they're showing others.
Two. But then again, Catholics have Christmas trees.
Because get out of there.
I guess where I'm getting most into it, is the fact that I look around and nobody's saying nothing. I think that's where I'm at.
Well, you got to please the minority. You know how it is.
A bunch of entitled 18-year-olds.
Well, what's your take on? Well, back to the thing. Can you, well, let's say all this stuff is wrong and still believe in freedom of religion? Because unfortunately, the state capitol, it's not a church. Now, this was inside a church, a Christian church. I would say you got a big ass point. But this is a capital, and even though I find it disgusting, at the very, but at the same time, this is also.
I get where you're going.
It represents the people. It represents the people. So
I knew that's where you were going with that. But when you start tying that type of shit to politics, that shows you how evil politics is getting. When you start going into that level,
dude, there's always been religion and politics. There's been religion. Dude, where have you been? There's been religion and politics since the dawn of time.
You know what's funny is, I hear you say that statement, but I also remember a judge that Trump put in there that Nancy Pelosi said, we are worried about you going against your religion rather than going off of your instincts, and did not want her in there. They're doing the same thing right now with the Speaker of the House when they found out he was a Christian. So don't tell me that church and state has always been together, only when it's a Christian. Is it a topic of discussion? Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
That's what I'm saying. It only becomes an issue when it's a Christian. You can be a Catholic, like, for instance, our president, Obama was Muslim. No one cared. but the moment,
easy with that. They say he wasn't.
Oh, he was purely.
Hey! If we don't have proof of saying that, we shouldn't be saying that on our show.
How much proof do you want? I can pull it up for you.
Because we should have legitimate proof of it. Because if we say shit like that and we're wrong, that's cool. We can get in trouble for slander, man. I don't think the chief would like that.
Oh, put me in jail for slander for proving facts. It was proven he wasn't born in the U.S. They proved that.
I thought he was born in Hawaii.
No. They proved that, and then they said that that's when all the fact checks got started. That was a lie. They tried covering that up immediately with fact checkers. You know who the fact checkers work for, people? The government. Facebook fact checked it for you. You gonna believe that one? All I'm saying is it's always a topic of discussion. Is everybody says church and state should be separated, but they are obviously not.
I think they should be. I really do think they should be, but you're right. There's always going to be politics with everything. There's always going to be religious stuff with everything. I mean,
well, what's in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. Name throughout history, every single politics came from a form of religion. Every single one. All it does is about beliefs and morals, and where humans get their belief and morals is their religion.
Well, tell me which part of that didn't go into the United States of America.
Exactly. This is a Judeo-Christian land. It was founded by Quakers and Masons who put Christian views into the law.
And then the demonic people came in and made
Because we also understood that not everybody is going to have the same values. And freedom of religion is a very important thing in this country.
Okay,
Because it's not
I'm gonna
because
add
the
something
problem
to you.
is in England.
Which part of that
England,
came in?
well, the problem was in England at the time.
Well, I want
It
to do a
wasn't
timeline.
just you had to believe in God. It was how you had to believe in God, and that's where the problem became.
Oh, I have a question. When did the amendment come in that you were speaking of? And when did the Pledge of Allegiance come in?
What do you mean?
Pledge of Allegiance says one nation under God.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious when the Pledge of Allegiance was made and when was that amendment? In other words, I want a timeline. Just kind of curious. You gotta admit, that isn't kind of interesting.
Well, I can't look that up on my phone at the same time I'm doing this podcast.
Luckily for you, one of us can.
But I can answer that question though. Just because this is a Christian land doesn't mean we don't let other people do what they want. That's part of freedom.
I get you. I'm just kind of interested. Wow. Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892.
So over 100 years after this country was created.
Yeah, okay, so years later. So yeah, it says here September 17th. In September 1789, the Congress adopted the First Amendment to the Constitution, which, when ratified by the required number of states in December of 1791, forbade Congress to make any law respecting an establish of religion. So the actual freedom of religion was first applied as a principle of the government in the founding of the colony of Maryland, founded by the Catholic and Lord of Baltimore in 1634. 15 years later, 1649, the Maryland Toleration Act, drafted by the Lord of Baltimore. Yeah, that's, well. So our country's founders, who were of different religion backgrounds themselves, knew the best way to protect religious liberty was to keep the government out of religion. So they created the First Amendment to guarantee the separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Oop, yeah. So that helped a little bit.
How exactly did it help? I mean, it's basically what I've been saying.
Chief, wrong topic. We're not talking about the Roman Empire.
So the question I have is, what would you do if at the same time they're doing all this shit, they put let's say they put a Buddha in the temple with it, Buddha in the castle, the castle, the thing.
Why not? Fuck it at this point. I don't know. I just don't know what to think about the whole damn situation. Like I said, it's a gray area. If you're a Christian, you're going to hate it.
Yep, I hate it.
If you're an American, you're going to be like, oh, they're separating their values. That's cute.
And yet, when you're a Christian American, what do?
Bitch about it. I mean, I get it. I get why they did it. Okay. I mean, here in the article.
I just don't think it's the right time for it. I mean, like I said, I think it shit like this should be more towards in the Halloween era, because that's more satanic right there. But it's like, why can't people, like? Here's the thing, and this is where it's probably where it bothers you, is that, and you were kind of like touching on the subject earlier, and that's
mine's leaning more towards my faith.
When it's the Muslims' turn, it's the Muslims' turn. When it's the Buddhist turn, it's the Buddhist turn. When it's the Satanic's turn, it's the Satanic's turn. But when it's the Christian's turn, the whole thing gets blown out of whack.
But what they don't understand is our God's more powerful than their God. And that's what makes them mad. And it will always make them mad. And it's okay, that's their right. It's their faith. It's whatever. But one thing I can guarantee you it isn't going on in hell is they're not having a party. Well, yeah, they are having a party, just
I was say they're having a party.
Yeah, just torture and pain on your soul. My aunt, that was the story I was actually going to bring up, is she believed that they were having a party down there, and that's where she was going to go. She wanted to go and join that massive party. And I'm like, yeah, it's one big party down there, all right? You're in one spot, can't move, being hit with chains, and all every day being asked, why did you do it? Why did you follow him? You knew this was your outcome. Why did you do it? Why didn't you obey the Lord? So, hearing this, I was taught this in Sunday school as a young kid. Hearing this, it's like, yeah, they're having a great party. Not one I want to go in, but yeah, they're having a great party.
We can't. Well, what do you want to do, man? Force our religion on everyone's throat?
Oh, no, you can't. No. In hindsight, you can't do that, because you are not allowed to do that.
Right.
Christians don't do that. Again, God gives you a choice. I mean, it's up to you. As a servant of the Lord, whether you're a pastor, a preacher, or even just a person that goes to church, the only thing you can do is plant the seed. Bring them up. That's it. As long as you plant the seed, it's whatever, But not everyone's going to listen. But one thing I have noticed, and this is me talking, is I noticed that even people that say they don't believe in God come to him in time of need.
Yep.
When they need a prayer, need guidance, who do they look to? They end up in a church. For an example, 9/11. The day the world quit moving in the United States, what was everybody doing? Everybody hit their knees and prayed.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what? This is a topic. I don't know if this is a topic for today, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Why is it? And I want you to think about this.
No atheist in a foxhole.
No.
No, this is what someone just put in chat.
No. I have a question. Now, here's a question that I want you to really think about. Why does it take a tragedy to bring us closer together?
I could ask you the same question, but I don't have an answer. But when you do, let me know.
We'll think about 9/11, Katrina, the tsunami that happened in Japan. It takes a tragedy to bring us together. And then we remember how much after 9/11, then people also were putting the flags. We didn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And 20 years later, we're back to hating each other. And I'm thinking, does something else have to happen for us to come back together?
I could actually relate to you on this one because I saw some disturbing images that.
Well, you see a lot of disturbing images everywhere.
This one got me. It actually got me pretty good. I remember commenting on YouTube. It got me that hard. And nothing ever gets to me that actually angers me more. But Michael, we've talked about this before, how we lost for a person in Iraq that we both knew. And it boiled.
Are you talking about the guy that I didn't like?
Yes, but we both know him. And regardless of past differences that he had or I had, when I see somebody with this war in Israel, I understand it's Israel, I understand it's Israel's war. But when I see American citizens out there joining the terrorists, then go fucking die with them. Because I know damn well I didn't forget 9/11. I did not forget when they were killing Marines, Army, SEALs. They didn't give a shit. The only thing that stopped them from coming over here was those men. And now you go over there and say we side with Hamas. You want to side with terrorists? Really? Then go die with them. The problem is Americans themselves are going to say this shit until it happens here. And then what the hell is everybody going to do? Hide? Wait, look for the American gun owners to come out and save you? Or the military, National Guard? Because I bet you the same people that are out there supporting these terrorist groups don't give a shit about you or your damn words. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
They do not care about your words at all. They don't care if you support them or not. They don't look at you as fans. They don't look at you as anything more than nothing. But when I hear on the news that women are being raped to death, kids are being beheaded, babies, and you're going to sit here and hold up signs saying we support Hamas, then go over there and die with them. Because you're not American. You're just as idiotic as they are. I said, me and Michael know a couple of people who have died over in Iraq, fighting similar terrorists that now Americans are backing. And they actually asked a SEAL Team 6 member this question, and he said the same thing I said. It's sickening. And it is. It's very sickening to see that happen, especially right here where 9/11 happened.
I mean, did they? Anyways,
Huh.
yeah, I get it. It's disturbing.
It is.
People have too much hate in them. And the problem is, sometimes I wonder if they even know who it is they're hating.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're a Trump, they hate you. If you're a Christian, they hate you. If you do not believe with what they say, they hate you.
Yeah.
If you're everything but them, they hate you. If somehow you're not entitled to have an opinion. Their opinion matters, regardless if they're wrong, they're right. And I hate to say it, but I almost feel that it's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have anything else you want to add to this?
Again, I'm just as disgusted about it as you are, but
I'm
what?
discussing about a lot of things.
But what exactly can we, as an American, do about it?
Which part?
The reason for the Stamp podcast.
To begin with? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we switch topics a lot. Me personally, I don't plan on doing nothing about it.
Well, I have a
Like I
question. I have a
said,
question.
it comes down.
Let me go even more with the whole church versus state. Let's say you're a criminal and you're inside a church. Should the cops be allowed to arrest you while you're in church?
I don't think I've ever seen that. To be honest.
Well,
And I'm
let's
not
say
about to
you're
look that up.
okay. Let's throw this around. Let's say you're a fugitive. You're hiding from the law, but you're hiding inside a church. Should the cops be allowed to go into risk and take you out?
What? I was about to ask the same question. Why wouldn't they?
What do you mean?
Well, you just said that should they be able to? Well, why wouldn't they be able to?
You said yourself separation between church and state.
Well, like I said, I've never seen them actually do it anyways. I've seen them wait outside of the church for them to come out, but I've never seen them actually go in and arrest somebody. Only in movies. I haven't ever seen it in a YouTube video either, come to think about it. I guess I may have never looked it up. Like I said, I've never looked that up, so I honestly don't know if they have or haven't they.
Either way, I'm sure there's been certain situations where they have. And I'm sure there are situations where they haven't. Now the question to you is, what's the right answer? What should be done?
Well, I could answer you the same thing. Should they be able to come into your house even with a warrant?
That's different.
Separates church and state is just a line from a letter written by Thomas Jefferson. There's your debate, Michael.
Mm.
You want a debate? There you go.
What I'm doing? Okay. No. What's it?
Nope, this one here.
Yeah, I see. Well, see, here's the thing. Don't you? If it's separation of church and state, I mean, it should be separation of church and state, where the law of God versus the laws of man. If you're inside a church, should you be allowed to be pulled out and arrested for, like, let's say you're a fugitive, you're running from the law. They found out where you're at, but you're inside a church. Should they be allowed to come in and take you out?
Like he said, why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Well, he was saying that they should, because what makes that place such a protection place? But the problem is, if it's protection of church, because I think it should, because you're saying protection of church and state shouldn't be a thing.
He said, yes, it's not like it's a sovereign state.
Sovereign.
Sovereign. Don't ask me, dude. My English ain't that great, and I'm an American. Bite me. I speak better French than American. You know, like, fuck. Shit, damn, whore.
All right, then.
My French is perfect.
All right, friend. You tell us. What do you think the right answer is?
Well, why this person's thinking of that. I was getting ready to say something, but oh yeah. So you believe that they should be able to come into your house with a warrant, correct? What about the amendment that every man's home is his castle and everything in it?
Okay, so he said they should be able to go in and arrest them. So you don't believe there should be a separation of church and state? Because remember, if you say no to that, that means you're basically saying that a church should be allowed to dictate what the state does. Because you can't have it but one way.
Well,
if you're saying the state can interfere with the church,
what you're saying
that means
right
the church
there,
can't interfere with the
the
state.
churches used to have that right. If it wasn't what
and
was
it
best
became
for
a
the state,
problem.
then yes. The churches is what kept sex out of your movies.
Exactly.
He said exactly correct. It's not part of the Constitution.
So churches should be allowed to dictate what we do?
I think that's how it's always been.
Yeah, that's how it was in a lot of other countries. And the problem is that's where a lot of problems also happened. Because the thing with Christianity, in any religion really, is it becomes a problem when you start forcing it on others. It shouldn't be forced.
No, we were just never forcing. We just forced the values.
But you might as well be forcing the whole damn thing.
Not really. How do you figure you're forcing them to believe or not believe?
You're forcing
just
them to
making
live.
them. You're making them create.
A certain way.
You're making them create fair laws.
What?
How many times do I have to block these people?
Who said it was illegal to jerk off?
You better read that again, Ghost.
I know what it says.
Bye. Yes, that person's gone. Bye-bye. No, you don't, because I just kicked them and banded them. They were on YouTube again.
Oh,
I don't know how many times I got to do it, but they keep coming back, and I'll just keep doing it.
I believe. Okay, I can answer this whole separation of church and state to this other guy very easily. If you take a look at another nation, like let's say like any of those Middle Eastern countries where Muslims are take priority, they force their will of their religion, their church, on the state. For example, whether you're a Muslim or not, the women have to be covered up. Whether you're a Muslim or not, women can't drive without permission from their husbands. Whether you're a Muslim or not, you have to follow a certain religious path, otherwise you're subject to be killed. In China, same thing. I mean, there's been uh, talks about Christians having to hide in caves because their church in China says to kill them if they're practicing another faith. So that is what happens when you combine church and state. So that's what happens when you combine church and state. The church, no matter what religion it is, will dictate the laws of the other state. And the problem is, everybody has to follow it, whether they're part of that religion or not. Now, even though I am a Christian, and I have no problem with Christians being in the authority, I can understand it from a different perspective. That it's not a good idea for one religion to have every single aspects of what everybody else has to do. And that's why I do believe there should be a difference between church and state. When you're in the church, you can practice however you feel like, and when you're in the state, you should have your freedoms to do as you please, provided you're not hindering on someone else's. The problem is that when we start forcing it upon anybody else, look, as much as I want to say that Christians, our hands are not clean of blood. We have done so many horrible things, just as any other religion.
I can give you the biggest one we ever did. The Christian Crusaders being the one.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that. I mean, you want to turn back on our world news, our world thing, world history shit? Yeah, we can talk about the Crusades. Well, good lord, Rob, that was you. Well,
they can rewatch the podcast and they'll hear me complain a lot about all that. So. I still believe it's the same person that was a little bit ago, so there's that. It's probably someone that probably didn't have any hair on their balls to even know right from wrong. King Cobra, JFS. I disagree about the Christians. That's way too far back. I think God is great.
We're Christians. We're not disagreeing with that. We're just talking about the forcing upon our ways upon others, and keeping separation of church and state solid.
Yeah, but you know what's weird is about the Christian Crusaders is they believed that they could do whatever they freaking wanted as long as they were doing it in God's name.
And how many people have died throughout the course of history because somebody was on a holy war or holy exploration, whether it be Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu.
Actually, the Crusaders were not all that old. Actually, during the time of the Catholic uprising, the Christian Crusaders became a thing and actually started killing anybody that went against.
The Crusaders was not the Old Testament. The Crusaders, this was like in the 4th or 5th century.
Yeah, they're not that old as you think.
And the latest Crusades was actually in the 11th century. So yeah, that's not the Old Testament at all.
Yeah, it was about the same time that Catholics were just starting to get out. Well, the Crusaders believed that they could kill in the name of God, and that was okay. Like if you committed adultery, that was death. If you did not agree with God's word, then the result was death.
And Rob, I have a question for you. How is that any different than the Muslims when it was, if you're not a Muslim, then you're an infidel and we can kill you.
You're missing the what? Why? I'm not even talking about them.
My point is when
The point is, I'm talking about Christian crusaders saying that they were doing God's work, but
I
in all
know that, and
actuality,
I'm
they
telling
weren't.
you, how is that?
They were
I'm
actually.
telling you that that's.
You can't do evil to do good. It does not work that way.
But that was my point I was trying to make, is that there's a whole history of shit that all religions has done in the name of God that's caused so much death and turmoil.
They were too religious.
Oh boy.
The Christian crusaders weren't even religious. Yeah, they were.
Hey Rob, I thought you said your internet was down.
I'm on my phone. Hello.
Good point.
No, on my laptop.
Well, my PlayStation just said Robert Carnage just came online.
Yeah, that is the internet through US Sailor, which may I add, it's only 5G and it won't even work for gaming, so don't even try it. Works great for streaming, hates gaming. The Crusaders were fined the staff of Solomon in the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, that's like way Old Testament. Look at
It still isn't Old Testament.
well, King Solomon is.
Solomon. No, well, wait a minute. Finding the staff is Solomon himself is Old Testament, but his relics is still today.
Well, yeah, and that's where a lot of stuff comes from. Is from his time.
That doesn't mean itself. The
No.
Crusaders themselves. Never mind.
And the Catholic Church has done cool things, and I agree. What cool things have they done? I can't think of any. Well, I guess they made Halloween. There's that. Celebrate pagan holiday. Their New Year. So that happened.
Oh, good Lord.
I know where you're going with that bogglehead. Don't do it.
I think King Cobra already went there, buddy.
Yes, he did. Do you guys drink combos? What? We know the Pope loves those young kids. I hate thickos. Oh, shit. I quit. He went there too. Diddle kids. Yeah, exactly. All in all, conversation aside, I hear your point. It happens.
What happened? Did you have to ban somebody else?
What?
So you had to ban somebody else there.
Yeah. 4th GI wasn't even my fault. A scooter isn't a car.
Oh, good Lord.
Still got a motor, bud. Hey, here a while back, Amish guy got busted on a horse for DUI. So, and he didn't even have a motor. I guess their horse was swerving. That shit was funny. I don't give a damn. I would have said, well, the horse has eyes. He knew where he was going.
Okay.
It's like we live in 1984. Nah, we weren't that full of hate in 84. I think that person didn't ever. I see that the Jaka person didn't even reply to me, so that was funny. No.
Oh boy.
Okay. Chat's getting interesting down here. I think 1984 should be banned. Gummy bears. That's a cool name, I guess. Well, we asked for chat to get in, and chat got in all right.
I suppose.
Oh, we got 7 viewers. Pretty sure most of them's in here reading chat like we are. Born and raised in Iowa. And honestly, I expected an ass whooping from Michigan. I'm not gonna lie. Number one,
This is
Hey,
not
they-
football chat.
hey, we don't talk about college, so there's a difference. Michigan did kick our ass. Michigan, hell no. You guys are number one. You guys kicked the shit out of us. It was 14-0. That was just like last week.
Okay.
Our defense held you, but our offense, if we would at least hit field goals or something, you guys didn't hit the touchdown until the fourth quarter. Ghost went to college. And I did some college.
Okay.
Ghost is actually a paralegal.
Well, not anymore. I mean, I never come out. Dude, I gotta look. Whatever. I gotta get going. I gotta get the wifey.
Oh, that's right. She worked tonight and I didn't.
Yep.
For some reason, we don't work Saturdays anymore. But all right, you guys have a good night. And I guess we're doing a wrestling podcast tomorrow. So I don't know what on. Chief never said. No, I don't ever do podcasts solo because they're kind of boring most generally when I'm by myself.
Well, with that, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
I am Insidious. Thanks for watching this podcast.
This is the Ghost, and thank you for watching our podcast.
And I am the Chief. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.